Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Cyclops, and welcome back to your one-stop shop for anime, gaming, and more. I hope you're doing well. So today I'm doing a little something a little bit different, and that is that I'm actually recording a guide for different aircrafts in War Thunder. I'm trying to work on other things besides YouTube Shorts, as I do want to make some actual long-term and searchable content. So today we are going to be taking a look at the J7W1, one of my most, if not top favorite aircrafts in War Thunder currently right now. The reason why is because this thing gets four 30mm cannons that absolutely shreds anything that it gets in contact with, and this thing, it is fast at its BR. Not as fast as something like the Super Corsair or the F-82, but this thing can zoom once it gets some speed. And I already have 3 games pre-recorded, but before we get into those clips, I just have to say this, that a whopping 98% of you guys who watch my content are not subscribed, and to me that is just mind-blowing. So if you could do me a huge favor and leave a like and subscribe down below, not only will it tell YouTube that this channel is actually active, but it will continue to allow me to make more War Thunder content. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll in today's gameplay. Welcome to the first match of today's video. I actually joined this match a little late, but yeah, so with the J7, you need to side climb in. This thing, you cannot directly go into the battle climbing because, well, you're slow, you can't really maneuver, and you'll just get taken out instantly because people know that you're slow, especially when climbing. So I'm making sure that no one's around me, and I noticed that this 109 is over here, so I immediately start tracking him, and I start tracking. So then I noticed a F-82 heading my way, and I'm kind of worried about it because the F-82 can tear you up, especially if they have gun pods, and they can climb extremely well if they have enough speed. So I started going over there towards the furball, hoping to pick off any stragglers. I noticed the 190 kind of coming away and doing his own little thing, so I just kind of climb a little bit so I can assess the situation better, and then I start diving on the 190 in hopes that he's just gonna be going off doing his own thing. I noticed that he's turning it back in, so I switched targets to the Super Corsair, who's just not really paying attention at the moment, or at least so I thought, and ground pounding. So I'm diving after the Super Corsair, having tremendously great amount of speed. This thing loves to have speed, as you can see. We're catching this Super Corsair. He finally notices us and tries to outrun us, which he doesn't realize that I basically came out of a climb. So we start taking pot shots out of him. He starts panicking, tried to outmaneuver away from the nose. I start trying to take pot shots out again. He fails to do so, and then boom, good night, Super Corsair. One target down. These 30mm are absolutely great for getting rid of anything that well lands in front of your nose. Obviously the guy kind of got confused as to what happened, so I kind of teased him and say, you know, pop, because that's what the Super Corsair did at the end of the day. It kind of just went pop. So we take all the energy that we got from that climb and from that initial chase and turn it into altitude. Booming and zooming is the key to the J7 survival. You never want to stay low, because if you are low, you are slow, and that will get you killed. So you need to have the discipline of booming and zooming. I know it's tempted to pick off all these targets that are slow, but half the time you just get ripped a new one because you're just so not focused on gaining altitude. I cut into a little bit into the match because it was just me climbing back towards the actual main engagement. I start tracking this 288 as he's trying to RTB. So I start tracking him, then I notice a 109 is heading my way. So I immediately break off and start my climb, as I do not want this guy catching me. Because if he catches me, then there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. He will stick on my tail until I die. So I slowly start vulturing over him. He notices this because I was trying to bait him to come up at me, but he notices this and flies straight. So this is a smart 109 player. I pull up and over on him, and I start trying to run him down. Pop the flats to get a little bit of a tighter turn radius, and we start the dive at full web. He has the slight speed advantage on me initially, but then we start catching up with him because, well, we are fast and we can keep the speed. He can't. So we start this dive, and I notice there's a Yak 9, a friendly Yak 9 beside me. And me and him at this point are trying to catch the 109 to catch this kill. He pulls down and under. You do not want to follow that because what players want you to do is get slow so that way they can repeat a new one. He pulls up into me and tries to take a pot shot on him, but pot shot off of me, excuse me, but his ping kind of throws him off, and that's what kind of saves me. I don't turn back and try to re-engage that target. I take that speed and immediately slightly disengage and pull up to get some altitude. I pull up and over, and me and this Yak resume the chase. Take note on how I'm actually playing this aircraft, because you kind of want to play the aircraft like I am playing it. You want to be patient, use this thing like a vulture, because you need to pick off targets, especially slow targets, and you do not want to get caught with your pants down. So me and this Yak 9 are chasing down after this 109. Then I notice off the horizon this 410. Then it clicks in my mind that he's leading us to this 410. The 410 is very dangerous, especially with his guns, because one shell, well, I'm pretty much dead, and so is the Yak. So me and the Yak kind of scatter. 410 comes for me. I pull up into over his nose, turn back into the 410 to engage him. I start turning, pop the combat flat to get that tighter turn circle. The 410, I don't know why, but he just went after the Coyote 4. He could have easily ran away, but he decided to go after the Coyote 4, fails miserably. Get a couple shots off, get a crit. He panics, starts trying to kill me with his rear gunners, but fails, and well, good night. 410. 2 kills, 0 assists, 0 deaths. This is match number 2. As you can see, I cut the side climbing out because it's just basically rinse and repeat, booming and zooming, high altitude, diving down on your opponents. I start heading towards the fur ball. I notice I'm just looking at the Sea Fury because I was thinking about going over there and finishing him off, but the Coyote 3 has him, so I just kind of ignore him. But look how patient I am with this aircraft. I'm always keeping aware of my surroundings, making sure there's no one's higher than me. I'm basically always self-aware of my surroundings. Then I noticed this F4U Corsair and this Bearcat. I don't know what these guys were doing. I don't know if they were trying to RTB. I don't know if they were chasing down someone. I don't know, but I started diving down on these guys to get some kills. I started diving on this Corsair because I don't think he really noticed that I was above him. I pulled down and start initiating my dive. This Corsair, bless his heart, he wasn't paying attention. One shot, pop, good night, Corsair. Pull up and over, do not want to get caught by that Bearcat. 109 tries to yoink the kill. My J6K tries to yoink the kill. They both fail, so I come and engage the Bearcat. You start shooting them, miss my shots. One more, boom, good night, Bearcat, up and over, and that'll be game number 2. 2 kills as always. That's basically the amount of kills that you will get in this thing, unless you're extremely lucky. I rarely get 3 kills in this, but that's if I'm playing super aggressive, and you kind of don't want to do that in this thing because it will punish you for it. This is an aircraft that will punish you if you make mistakes. Trust me, I know this. So I started coming after the Spitfire originally in this match. The last clip, by the way, notice that he got taken out by friendly, so I give him the good old excellent, and I start turning into the furball. Keeping my altitude, being self-aware of my surroundings and all that. At first I thought I saw a Spitfire RTB, so I started looking for him because I don't want him sneaking up on me, but it was just a figment of my imagination, or rather it was a speck on my screen. So I started diving on this French Seafire because he's just kind of target fixated on everything. The Rapu right here tries to disrupt and tries to save the dough, but he fails. I don't know what that Rapu could have actually gotten that guy, but he just kind of targets and zooms away. And I start my dive. I was going to dive on the Super Corsair, but I changed my mind. This French Seafire slow, boom, good night, give him a little love tap just to make sure he's down. Pull up, not really paying attention, and it almost cost me my life rather. And this Super Corsair tries to kill me with his cheeky stealth round, so I pull up and over his guns, and well, he's gonna pay for trying to knock me out of the match. He's slow, gets ripped by the Rapu right here. I try to get a kill or an assist. I fell down. I noticed this Yak 3 who's oddly slow, and I capitalized on that. Basically one shot, boom, critical. Didn't know he was landing, but I got the kill anyways, and that was the end of the match. This Yak 3 was trying to come after me, but then he realized his mistakes and, well, gets completely torn apart, as you can see. So just to recap on today's video, if you basically did not understand what I was trying to say, basically, in order to play this thing as properly as you can, you need to have patience. Unlike other Japanese aircrafts, this thing is only useful for high altitude attacking and booming and zooming, because it heavily relies on speed. If you do not have speed, this thing is just a brick and, well, you're dead. Do not try to fight anything at low altitude, because you will not win. I've seen many J7s try to do this, and, well, they found out very quickly that they're no match at low altitude engagement. You need to play this thing at high altitude, and diving down on stragglers that are trying to RTB or to target fixated on something or are trying to ground strike. Those are the easiest kills that you need to go after. It's always about taking the path of least resistance in this thing. What you also need to do is learn how to capitalize on people's mistakes. If you get someone that's trying to basically helicopter their way up to you, capitalize on that mistake, because usually most of the time they are coming out of a climb trying to helicopter their way up to you, so they're going to be slow, and slow is basically death for them. So you capitalize on that mistake. Also capitalize on people's mistake if they're not paying attention. You need to learn how to catch people off guard in this thing. With that being said, I did hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you are new, as I am trying to make interesting content not only for me but for you guys as well. But anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Leave a like if you did enjoy today's video, and consider subscribing. Leave a dislike if you didn't. It's been your host Eclipse, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care.